Welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you are new. For today's video, we're going to be closing out my February sinking funds, and we're going to be setting up my March sinking fund and transaction log worksheets. We're going to stuff my sinking funds. It's going to be a whole lot of fun. Before I can start on March, I need to close out February, and in order to do that, I need to finish kind of tracking my funds here, and I need to go through, add everything up, and fill in my transaction log here, like with what I spent overall for the month. So we did have some transactions for sinking funds for this last week, from like the 22nd to the 28th or whatever the week was. And I'm just gonna open up my credit card statement. The way that I do my sinking funds is I keep all of my sinking funds in cash, but typically the way that I work it is I put everything throughout the month on a credit card, and then at the end of the month I just pull the cash out of their various sinking funds, deposit it back into the bank, and I pay that credit card. So I might think about combining all of my sinking funds into like one big fund. I might even go cashless at some point, because the cash going back and forth is kind of a pain, though I do like the idea of having the cash on hand. That way I can access it no matter what if I need it. So I don't know, I've kind of been going back and forth about that. For now, I'm going to stick with what I have been doing, but leave me a comment down below and let me know what you think about sinking funds in cash versus in a bank account. How do you do it? What do you think I should do? I'd welcome your opinion. So I'm going into my credit card statement here just to get a look at what we spent from our various funds. Usually I would have this kind of set aside on a sinking fund transaction, little like scratch paper so that I could fill it in with you and be more precise, but I didn't do that this week, so we're just going to kind of wing it and hope for the best. So let's see. Okay. All right, so on the 26th, we accessed our camping fund. And for our camping fund, we spent $49.63. This was for our electric bill over the last couple of months at our campground. That came due, so we went ahead and paid that. We also, from our car maintenance fund on the 26th, got a car wash. I don't know if we should be taking our car wash money from our gas fund, since we've had such an overabundance of money left over in gas at the end of the month, or if we should take it from our car maintenance fund. Let me know what you guys think. It was $10. We want to try to get back into the habit of doing weekly car washes, especially in the winter when there's so much salt and gross on the roads. Our car gets disgusting. So we've taken our car the last couple of weeks, but I've kind of been unsure about whether I should take that money out of gas or if I should take it out of car maintenance. Technically it is car maintenance, but I don't know. Let me know what you guys think. Yeah, so that was a car wash. All right, and that was it. Was that it? Yeah, that was it. Seems like it should be more than that, but that was it. So I'm going to really quickly go ahead and pull out a highlighter. The one I'm going to use is this orange one, just because that's the one that I grabbed. This is the one I usually use for like tracking my household expenses in my expense tracker, but I'm going to use this just to kind of go down the line and highlight as I go so that I can add up all the totals for the various things. So we're going to start with fun, since that's right on top. There was only the one fun transaction, so that makes it easy. For fun, we spent $9.70. So I'm going to actually open this up and zoom you guys out just a touch. There we go. so that I can kind of fill these in as I go. So for fun, we spent $9.70, and I'm going to round it up to 10 just because we're dealing with cash and I'm not going to deal with change. So we'll round that up to 10. That means, do I want to do it this way? I think I'm actually going to pull this out so I can fold this in half. It's easier to write on that way. And you guys can still see, right? Yeah. So we'll just leave that at that for now. All right. Holidays is next. And again, we just had the one transaction. So that makes it easy. We spent $71.32. So again, I'll round it up to 72. And write that in under our minus column here. All right, subscriptions is next. And again, just one transaction for $9.99. So we'll round that up to 10 for subscriptions. Pharmacy is also just one transaction. We actually didn't have a ton of transactions for sinking funds in February, which is nice. So we'll round that up to $11 under medical. Now we've got some categories with multiple transactions. So for car maintenance, we had $84.57 for an oil change, plus 10 for a car wash, plus 10 more. So $104.57. I will round that up to 105. So that was car maintenance, right? Yep. All right, and then it looks like we've got a couple of clothing transactions, which I think our clothing is actually going to go negative because I don't think we had much in our clothing sinking fund, but that didn't stop us from spending. So the reason I'm able to go negative is because I put it on that credit card. That's the only problem with doing it that way, is it allows me to go negative. 90 to 76, so we'll say 93 for clothing. So, I mean, it looks like we're going to be about $10 over budget, but it's fine because I'm adding more money to sinking funds today. I'll just make up that difference. And then lastly, we had camping for $49.63. And so I'll just mark that as $50. So that means the rest of these categories didn't get any spending. Now we can go ahead and do some math here. So for camping, we spent $184 plus 200 minus 50. So that means we should have $334 left in that fund. For car, we had $326. We added 300. We subtracted 105. So that means there should be $521 in there. Okay. For Christmas, we had $150. We added $150. We didn't take anything away. Oh, that's $300, but I skipped right on over celebrations. Started with 0, we added 50, we didn't spend anything, so that's a total of 50. For clothing, $33 we had in there, we added 50, we subtracted 93, that's negative 10. So need to be aware of that and add an extra $10 in here. All right, for holidays, we had 100, we added 50, we subtracted 72, so that leaves us with $78. Oh, what did I do? Oh, I skipped over fun. I don't know why I keep skipping categories. This is 78. For holidays, no, for fun, I'm sorry. 63, we added 50, we took away 10. So there should be $103 in fun. Lord knows I'm going to make a zillion mistakes in this video. My apologies, guys. And I'm losing hair. Okay. For home insurance next, we started with $300. We added $50. We didn't take anything away, so that's $350 that should be in there. For home projects, we had $106. We added $200. We didn't take away anything, so that should mean we have $306 in home projects. For hunting, we started with $75. We added $100. We didn't take anything away, so there should be $175 in there. For medical, we started with $178. We added $100. We subtracted $11. That's $267. Personal care, we had $50. We added $50. We didn't take anything away, so that'll be $100 in there. For pets, we had $100. We added $50. We didn't take anything away, so that's $150. For school, we had $93. We added $100. We didn't take anything away. That's $193. And lastly, for subscriptions, we had $100. We added $100. We took away $10. So that's $190 in there. So let me really quickly just add up our ending balances then. $334 plus $521 plus $50 plus $300 plus $103 plus $78 plus $350 plus $306 plus $175 plus $267 plus $100 plus $150 plus $193 plus $190 minus that 10 is $3,107. All right, let's add up how much we spent. So we had 50 plus 105 plus 93 plus 10 plus 72 plus 11 plus 10 is 351. So let's double check our math now. We'll see if this is right. You guys haven't been able to see that bottom column. My apologies. If this is right, I will be shocked because I always make a mistake at this juncture. So we had 1858. 1858. We added 1600. We took away 351, and that leaves 3,107. That means everything was accurate, my math was right, and this is how much I should have in my sinking funds. So now we can use this ending balance that we have here as our starting balance for March. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull this out. I'm going to flip to my March sinking fund transaction log, and I'm going to get my categories and my beginning balance figured out, and then we will talk about what I'm adding to my sinking funds. We'll stuff my cash envelopes and we'll be all set up for March. Okay, friends, so I went ahead and pulled out my sinking funds worksheet for March, and I went ahead and put in the beginning balances as well as everything that I plan on adding just to make it a little bit easier. Our beginning balance in all of our sinking funds is $18.58. That is taken directly from our ending balance of February, and the amount that I'm going to put in this month is $1,700. So that should be what I have here. Really quickly, I'm going to count it out and get it kind of put into my cash tray. I'm going to use my calculator to help me out here. So we're going to start out at the back with tens. So I have 3 tens, that's 30, plus 20, 40, 60, 81, 20, 40, 60, 82, 20, 40, 60, 83, 20, 40, 60, 84, 20, 40, 60, 85, 20, 40, 60, 86, 20. So $620. Okay, and then for 50s, we have 51, 52, 50, 300, 50, 400, 50, 550. So that brings us up to 1,200. And then lastly, we have 100s. 1, 2, 3, 4. So 1,200 plus 400, that's 1,600. So what did I miscount here? Let me try that one more time. 10, 20, 30, 20, 40, 60, 80, 100, 20, 40, 60, 80, 200, 20, 40, 60, 80, 300, 20, 40, 60, 80, 400, 20, 40, 60, 80, 500, 20, 40, 60, 80, 620, so that was right, plus 51, 52, 53, 54, 55, 50, plus 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's 1,600 again. Oh my gosh, you guys. I've got $100 sitting right here that I must have set aside somewhere else. So that gives me the other $100 I was missing. That is $1,700 then to start. Oh my goodness. Okay, so I'm just going to use this worksheet here as a guide as I go ahead and add the cash to my sinking funds envelopes. Now these are already pretty fat and they're only going to get fatter with the added cash. So I'm going to go ahead and stuff them now into these envelopes. But I think off camera I'm going to make a change. How many of you guys have been around since I first started doing budgeting videos? If you have been around that long, you will recognize this guy. I think I'm going to end up putting all of my sinking fund cash back in here. I'm not going to do it in today's video because I need to go in and relabel it because it still has all of the labels from my old sinking funds. But I think I'm going to go back to this system because this thing is just getting super, super fat. So next month when I sit down and do my sinking funds, you guys will kind of see how I got it all set up. Essentially, each one of the tabs in that accordion folder is going to be labeled with the corresponding fund, and the cash will just go in between the tabs. A lot easier. That way I don't have to worry about cash falling out or this thing being super fat. But for now, let's just see how fat it gets. So we're going to start out with camping, and camping has a beginning balance of $334, and today we're going to add 200. So I'm just going to kind of fill out the cards with you guys. That's why I went ahead and filled in my worksheet off camera, just so that I wasn't having to write it down in two different places. That can probably get pretty tedious. But for this one, I'm just going to add 2 $100 bills, and we will just count it up. So we are looking for a total of $534. So let's see. 100, 200, 300, 400, 500, 20, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34. So that's all good to go. And that takes care of camping. So next is our car, and for our car we're going to add $300. We are still saving up for tires, so that's why we are adding so much to our car maintenance fund each month. Once I get the tires, I will be putting less per month in here, but for now I'm just trying to kind of build it up quickly so that we can get new tires as soon as possible. So we're going to deposit $300, and that's going to bring our total up to $821. So I have 2 $100 bills here, and then I'm going to add 2 50s as well. And then we'll just count this and make sure we do indeed have 821. So we have 100, 200, 300, 400, 500, 600, 650, 700, 20, 40, 60, 80, 800, 820, 821. We are good to go there. So that takes care of car. For celebrations, we're going to add $50 today. We're starting with $50 for a total of $100 for celebrations. We use this fund for birthdays, anniversaries, that sort of thing. We do have an anniversary coming up in March, so we've got $100 towards our anniversary dinner, which is nice. I'm excited about it. I don't know exactly what we have planned in terms of celebrating our anniversary, but oops, see right there how that just flew out of there? That's why I'm going to switch to my accordion folder. Yeah. All right, for Christmas, we're going to add $150, and we have a starting balance of $300. So, I'm actually hoping to be able to start adding more to this fund. Once we get our car tires, we'll be able to take a little bit less to put into cars, so we'll be able to have more to put into other funds, including this Christmas fund. But even if we don't add more and we just continue to do $150, that's still quite a Christmas fund by the end of the year. So let me go ahead and add 150. Let's do some 20s for this, actually. So 20, 40, 60, 80, 100, 20, 40, and a 10 makes 50. So we'll just go ahead then and count this up. We have 100, 50, 200, 20, 40, 60, 80, 300, 20, 40, 60, 80, 400, 20, 40, 50. Perfect. Okay. Next is clothing, and we're actually starting with a negative balance in clothing. And so we're going to add $100, but that's not going to quite give us $100 in this fund because we got to make up that negative 10. So we're going to deposit 100. And that'll give us $90. So I'm actually only going to deposit 90. This other 10 I will put back in the bank to cover that $10 overage. So let's do 20, 40, 60, 80, and 90. Hopefully that made sense to you guys. So that means that at the end of this, we should have $10 left. Am I doing that right? I think so. Yes, I believe that's right. We'll see, I guess, at the end of this. All right, for fun, we're starting with $103. And we're going to deposit 50 more today. For a total of 153. So let's add this up and see if that's what we have. So we have 50, 70, 90, 110, 130, 150, 51, 52, 53. All right, for holidays, we are starting with a balance of $100. Nope, that's wrong. We're starting with a balance of $78, and we're going to add 100 more today to bring us up to a total of 178. And I believe the next holiday that we are celebrating will be Easter. Correct me in the comments if I'm wrong about that, but I think that's what's coming up next in April. So we have 50, 100, 20, 40, 60, 70, 75, 76, 77, 78. Good to go there. All right, for home insurance, we're starting with a balance of $350, and we're adding 50 more today. Sorry if I'm shaking the camera. So that'll bring us up to a total of 400. Here we go. 100, 200, 320. Oops. Let's take this 20 back. We got this out of order. 350, 370, 390, 400. Okay. Next up then is home projects. We have 306 in there to start, and the amount that we're going to add is 200. We definitely have some home projects around the house. I know we need to get a new storm door because ours completely broke. So that might be happening sometime this month. We'll see. That'll bring us up to 506. I think we have to special order that because we have a special size for our mobile home. So we'll just kind of have to see how that plays out. All right, 150, 200, 50, 350, 450, 500. Why am I counting 20s as 50s, you guys? I'm so scatterbrained today. All right. 150, 200, 50, 300, 20, 40, 60, 80, 400, 20, 40, 60, 80, 500, 505, 506. Wish those 20s were 50s. But that's not the case. All right, so for hunting, we're starting with 175, and we're going to add 100. And that'll give us a total of 275, which is really, really nice. My husband will be thrilled. 20, 40, 60, 80, 100. All right, so 20, 40, 60, 80, 100, 20, 40, 60, 80, 200, 20, 40, 60, 75. So I just checked the camera and it was really washed out there for a second. I hope it hasn't been that way the whole video. The lighting's kind of fluctuating. I'm worried if I adjust it too much, then it'll be too dark. But let me see what I can do. Hopefully that's better. My apologies, you guys, if this whole video has been super washed out. All right, for medical, we're starting with 267 and we're adding 100 today. For a total of 367. So 1, 2, 3, 4. We'll add 100. All right, so we have 100, 20, 40, 60, 80, 200. Now it's super dark again. Oh boy, that's all right. 20, 40, 60, 80, 300, 20, 40, 60, 8, 61, 62, 63, 64, 65, 66, 67. So that was 367. All right, almost done, you guys. Just bear with me with my counting errors and my poor lighting. I'm gonna turn the brightness up a little bit more. All right, we can get through this. Personal care, we're starting with 100 and we're adding 50. This video is getting long too. All right, 3-1 deposit 50 for a total of 150. So we'll do 2 20s and a 10. All right. I feel like I'm doing something wrong because I thought I was going to have $10 left over and I just used my last 10. So maybe I should take these two 10s that I have here and trade them in and take a 20 instead. Maybe it's just a change error. We'll see. All right, let's see if we have 250. 20, 40, or 150. 60, 81, 150. Okay, for pets, we're gonna add 50 as well. So we're starting with 150. We'll add 50 to bring it up to 200. $20, $40, and a 10 is 50. And once more, I'm gonna trade these two 10s in for a 20. So I didn't get correct change when I went to the bank, so I think that was the issue. All right, 100, 20, 40, 60, 80, 200 for pets. Okay, so school and subscriptions are both getting 100, so I didn't need to do that, but that's okay. For school, we're gonna add 100. It's gonna take it from 193 to 293. 20, 40, 60, 81. Okay. 20, 40, 60, 80, 100, 20, 40, 60, 80, 200, 20, 40, 60, 80, 90, 91, 92, 93 in school. And lastly then, we have subscriptions, which has 190 and is going to get an extra 100 to bring it up to 290. Hopefully we have the proper cash left to make this happen. And we didn't make any mistakes along the way. So let's see what we have left here. 20, 40, 60, 80, 90, 100. We do have that $10 left that I said we would, which means there were no mistakes. I'm going to stick this off to the side so I can deposit it into the bank for covering that $10 overage that we had in clothing. We started with a negative balance, so this $10 will go into the bank to cover that because all of my transactions for my sinking funds last month went on a credit card. So in order to pay that credit card, I'm $10 short currently, and this will cover that. So now as long as this is $290, we're in business. So 100, 50, 70, 90, 210, 230, 250, 260, 270, 280, 290. Woohoo! Oh, I love it when it all works out because you guys know I struggle with math sometimes, especially when the camera's rolling. So, all right, look at how fat our envelopes are now. Definitely gonna switch over to that accordion file system, which I'm excited about, getting back to my roots. That's how I started out with sinking funds. And it worked really well for me for a long time. I don't even remember why I changed things up. So that's it for my sinking funds for March. Let me know if you guys are excited about March budgeting, if you are all set up with your sinking funds for March. I'd love to hear from you. I will have my budget printables for March linked down below. You can check out my Etsy shop. And if you use the code YTFriend, you get 15% off any order. So go ahead and get you some budget printables, print them out, get ready for March, get excited. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye, friends.